Hey guys, what's up? DKB here. Just thought I would make a video on some bait uniques, and I think the number one bait unique is Rage of Harrogath, and I think a lot of people don't understand how this works, and I didn't fully understand how this works. It only applies to certain types of bleeds. For example, like let's say I'm playing Hoda, right, and I'm using the two-handed sword expertise, which is 20% of the direct damage you dealt is inflicted as a bleed. You would think that would proc Rage of Harrogath, however, that does not. Also, as you can see, I have Berserk Ripping here, just on this really shitty two-hand mace here, and it's saying that whenever you deal direct damage with Berserking, I should be inflicting bleed. So I have two sources of inflicting bleed, which should be proccing Rage of Harrogath, and you guys will see that none of them, basically I will get no reduced cooldowns on my shouts, and just so it's like a better test, I'm not running Disembowel or Martial. So any of the cooldown you should be seeing can only come from the Rage chest. Also, I have some lucky hit chance here. I have a 60% chance lucky hit on my Hammer of the Ancients, so we should be seeing some procs. Alright, let's just start hitting these elites. As you can see, no procs. Again, Hammer of the Ancients has a 60% lucky hit chance to proc, and it's just not procking on this elite pack for some reason. And that's because it just doesn't work, guys. I'm not the unluckiest player in the world. It just doesn't work. However, let's throw on a sword, and let's go Whirlwind in a pack. Let's try and get a nice little elite pack. I know they nerfed this map, so maybe it's not the best to showcase. Okay, let's see here. Alright, so you can see we've already procced like 2 or 3 times, 4 times. And the reason why the sword is proccing, but not the other types, is because in our skill tree here, we are taking Furious Whirlwind, which says, when using a slashing weapon, Whirlwind inflicts 40% of its base damage as bleeding damage. And for some reason, that node procs the Rage of Harrogath chest, but Berserk Ripping and the sword technique do not. So be very careful if you're not using like Rend or specifically Whirlwind with a slashing weapon, you're not proccing your chest, and doesn't have the best stats, guys, so I would not be using that. Alright, now let's talk about Temerity real quick, and I've seen a lot of build guides suggest Temerity. I think it's a complete bait. I think the only reason you should be running Temerity is if you're doing very low-level Nightmare tier dungeons or open-world content, and you always want to have this conceited aspect of deal increased damage while you have a barrier active. And the wording's also kind of misleading. So it says, effects that heal you beyond 100% of your life grant you a barrier up to 72% of your maximum life. And I don't know exactly how this maximum life number is coded. What I believe is it's your base life. So essentially you get life depending on how much XP you get. And obviously you're just going to have more life at level 100 than at level 70. And I'll show you that it is definitely not 72%. Okay, so we'll put on the pants. We'll use our potion. We'll use our potion again. And for some reason this only goes to 5,700, which is, I don't know, what is that, like 40% of my maximum life? So it's not a 72% shield, it's more like a 40% shield. And if you have a smaller roll, it's going to be even less. And if you're lower level and you only have like an 8,000 health pool, it's only going to give you like a 3,000 shield if you have a low roll Temerity. So I think Temerities are a bait. The triple damage reduction of Pants, gaining another aspect with Pants, is going to be increasing your survivability way more. The healing received stat is pretty nice. However, most endgame builds should have a decent amount of willpower, which already gain 43% healing received, so the extra 17% isn't that noticeable. I think Temerity makes you a glass cannon. It's extremely squishy, and it's only good for the Conceited Amulet, and it's not really straightforward with how much it actually shields you guys. Alright guys, and the third mistake you could be making if you're playing Barbarian is not running this aspect. And the aspect of Disobedience is completely overpowered. It says you gain 0.5% increased armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, stacking up to 50%. And if you look at our armor right now, it's at 58%. And I'm going to go spin in a wave. Whirlwind bleeds really good for proccing Disobedience, so you guys should see the numbers shoot up really fast. And as you can see, we're at 100% physical damage reduction of enemies of our level. So, as long as we're fighting enemies our level, the only damage we can take is elemental, which makes us extremely tanky. Like, if you're dying, it's almost assuredly because you don't have this aspect. Here we might take some damage from, like, just random elemental damage. But as you can see, we are extremely tanky. And you can kind of see the number go down as we stop proccing it. Down to 58%. Alright, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys appreciated the kind of mechanics, explanation of the uniques, and the tip for Disobedience. Make sure to subscribe if you like the content, and until next time, guys, good luck on doing whatever you guys are currently doing in Diablo.